Hello, class 12 students. In our previous meet, we have gone with the introduction of the poet Robert Lee Frost and his poem Birches. We have come to know that while doing our duty on earth, we should take flight to the realm of imagination. If in the world there is no harshness, hard work, then there will be no value of the world of fantasy. So we should not stop aspiring for higher and noble ideas, without which no progress is possible. Dear students, please go through the brief account given upon the poet Robert Lee Frost in your textbook. And now let us move on with the explanation of the poem in detail. Birches by Robert Frost. When I see birches bend to left and right across the lines of straighter, darker trees, I like to think some boy is being swinging them, but swinging does not bend them down to stay, as ice storms do. So the poet says that when I see the birches, means the birch trees, birch tree, they are a slender, hard tree with a peeling bark. So when I see the birches, the birch trees bending left and right, across the lines of straighter, darker trees, across the lines of standing in the vertical position, the dark trees in the forest, I like to think, at that time, I think that some boys might have done this by swinging upon them, moving backward and forward. But then I think, but swinging does not bend them down to stay. But then again I start thinking, but swinging cannot make these trees bend down for a long time. It may be due to the heavy fall of snow that they could not control the weight and they come down. Often you must have seen them loaded with ice a sunny winter morning after rain. They click upon themselves as the breeze rises and turn many-colored as the stir cracks and crazes their enamel. So the poet says that often you must have seen the birch trees, that when they are loaded with ice, when they are covered with the weight of the ice on a sunny winter morning after a rain, they click upon themselves, they make clicking sounds as the breeze rises. As the wind blows, they make the clicking sounds and turn many-colored as the stir cracks and crazes their enamel. And as the rays of the sun falls upon them, they turn many-colored. They turn into many colors, 7 colors, they turn into many color as they break into pieces. Stir cracks means when they break into pieces, and the white coating of the snow that starts fading away. Because soon the sun's warmth makes them shed crystal shells. As the sun starts, there is the sun, due to the sun rays, they become into the crystal form. The crystal shells of ice, they start falling down, shattering into small pieces and avalanching on the snow crust, and they start falling down like the sliding like a snowfall. Such heaps of broken glass to sweep away, you would think the inner dome of heaven had fallen. And they come down in such a way as the heavy snowfall, in the form of this heavy snowfall, as if the glass is broken. And as if the glass, there's small pieces of glasses coming down, or the inner dome of heaven had fallen down. They give the appearance as if the inner dome of heaven is falling down. They are dragged to the withered bracken by the load, and they seem not to break. Though once they are bowed so low for long, they never right themselves. And they are dragged. They move partly. When they come down, they move partly to the withered bracken by the load, means to the dried fern that are on the ground. They fall upon them and they move partly, quickly, because they turn into water. and they seem not to break. Now again he is talking about the birch tree. That the birch tree means the birch tree, they are bending down also, and to the upon the ferns that are on the ground, and they seem not to break. The birch tree never seem to be broken. They are bending down in the bending position from a long time. Though once they are bowed so low for long, they never right themselves. Means when they are bowed down, they cannot straighten again. They cannot straighten themselves again, come into the erect position. You may see their trunks arcing in the woods, years afterwards trailing their leaves on the ground, like girls on hands and knees that throw their hair before them over their heads to dry in the sun. And watching very nicely the birch tree, he giving a very nice image of the birch tree when there is a snowfall, when there is snow on the birch tree trunks. So you may see their trunks arcing in the woods, means curving in the woods, how they are bent down in the woods of the birch trees. Years afterwards, they are still in that position, trailing their leaves on the ground, because the stems are down, so but natural there will be leaves also, so hanging downwards. The leaves are also hanging downwards, and it gives the picture as if the girls on hand, as if the girls are keeping their hands on knees and throwing their hair outside to make them dry in the sun. It gives the picture like this, before them over their heads to dry in the sun. But I was going to say, when truth broke in with all her matter of fact about the ice storm, I should prefer to have some boy bend them as he went out and to fetch the cows, some boy too far from town to learn baseball, whose only play was what he found himself, summer or winter, and could play alone. But I was going to say when truth broke in, but there is no doubt, the truth about this truth, that there is no doubt that the birches are bent down by the heavy weight of the ice storm. But the poet says, but I should prefer this also, that some boys bend them. It is also done by the boys. Some boys bent these trees as he went out in to fetch the cows. As the village boy, he had gone out to looking after the cows, and he might have seen the birch trees, and he might have climbed, and that's why they are bending down. Some boy too far from town to learn baseball. The village boys too far from town to learn baseball. In the town, the boys in the town, they play the baseball. They have the game. But in the village boy, they do not have any game. So this village boy, while looking after the cows, he might have found this game, whose only play was what he found himself. He had invented this game. He had found this game. What? Birch swinging game of summer or winter, and could play alone. And he may be happy while playing this or while swinging on the birch tree. One by one he subdued his father's trees by riding them down over and over again, until he took the stiffness out of them, and not one but hung limp, not one was left. And the boy, soon the boy found that the bird swinging very thrilling. He was very excited whenever he used to swing on the birch tree. So he subdued, means he wanted to defeat his father's trees, means to climb on the trees and make them bend down by riding them down over and over again. So he was thrilled by doing this. He was enjoying this by climbing up and then coming down with the stem of these birch trees, coming down with the trees, and so he was finding it very, he was enjoying this game by riding them down over and over again, until it took the stiffness out of them, and he bent them all down as if he wanted to, means he was enjoying this. So he did not want that any tree should stand in firm position. They should all bend down, and not one but hung limp, not one was left for him to conquer. Means he bent them down as if he wanted to conquer all of them. He wanted to conquer all the birch trees to be bending down. He learned all there was to learn about not launching out too soon, and so not carrying the tree away clear through the ground. And means he learned all there was to learn about not launching out too soon. He did not learn by climbing on the trees, he did not learn that he should release himself away from the earth. He should be always on the top. No, and so not carrying the tree away clear, but he wanted to he wanted to bring himself from the top to the ground again by bending the tree. So he had learned the skill to maintain perfect balance between the two, means going up and coming down. The fantasy world and the world of earth. He always kept his poise to the top branches, climbing carefully with the same pains as you used to fill a cup up to the brim and even above the brim. And then he flung outward feet first with a swish, kicking his way down through the air to the ground. And the boy, whenever he used to go to the top, he always used to keep the balance, kept his poise, balance to the top branches. He is going to the top of the branches, climbing very carefully, as if taking a cup full of water or milk, which is filled with water or milk, and very carefully he climbs to the top as if he is carrying a cup which is full of milk or water, up to the brim. The cup is filled with up to the brim and even above the brim. So he goes very carefully, and then he flung outward. Then he flings himself feet first, with his feet stretched, with a swish, means stretching his feet, kicking his way down through the air to the ground, and then very carefully coming down along with the tree to the ground. So he does this in a very balanced way. So was I once, myself a swinger of birches, and so I dream of going back to be. So now the poet is reminded of his childhood time when he was also a very good swinger of birches. So he says, "Oh, I wish to be again the swinger of birches, and I dream of going back to my old days. It is when I am weary of considerations, and life is too much like a pathless wood, where your face burns and tickles with the cobwebs broken across it, and one eye is weeping from a twigs having lashed across it open." So he says that I also sometimes want to be like a swinger of birches as I used to be in the childhood days. It is that time when I am weary of consideration, when I am weary of my thoughtful life, when I am tired of my thoughtful life. And life is too much like a pathless wood. And when my life becomes very confusing, like a pathless wood, where there is a confusion which way to go. In the same way, when there is too much of confusion in my life, where your face burns and tickles with the cobwebs. When the pathless woods, you meet with the cobwebs, they will tickle you, and your face will be burned, or your prickly thorns will be there, and you will maybe any twig means broken across it, and one eye is weeping from a twigs having lashed across it open, and sometimes the tears coming from your eyes as if some twig pinches your eye. Means the poet is using the metaphor of the hardships of life by giving the example of the pathless wood. So when our face burns and tickles with the cobwebs, means when we have worries and sorrows in our life because of the cobwebs, means uncertainties in our life, and broken means the hardships and the uncertainties, and our one eye is weeping not because of the injury but because of the sorrow, because of the sorrows in life. From a twig while going in the forest, if any twig pinches or pinches in your eye, then the tears come out. In the same way, if there are hardships in life, if there are sorrows in life, but natural, we will be in trouble, we will be in great sorrow, in grief. So he says, when these things happen, that time I want to go to my childhood days, back days. I would like to get away from earth a while and then come back to it, begin over. That time I want to get away from this earth. Get away means from this, I want to escape from the earth. When I get these types of burdens, sorrows, and grief in my life, I want to escape from earth. But come back to it. But now I want to come back to resume my work. I do not want to be there only in the world of imagination, in my world of fantasy, but I want to come back and to start my hard work. May no fate wilfully misunderstand me and half grant what I wish and snatches me away not to return. May my fate do not deliberately misunderstand me that I only want to go up into the world of fantasy and I do not want to come back. No, this is not. I want half grant. Please, I want to enjoy. My only will is, my only desire is to enjoy the innocence of nature and then come back to the earth, because earth is the right place for love. So my fate should not think that I do not want to return. No, I want to return, because earth is the right place for love, because earth is the only place where we get love, and without this no imaginative world will exist. I do not know where it is likely to go better. I would like to go by climbing a birch tree and climb back branches up a snow white trunk toward heaven till the earth could bear no more, but dipped its stop and set me down again. So he wishes, like a child, he wishes that I would love to climb upon the birch tree, climb black branches up a snow white trunk. I would love to climb upon the snow white trunk towards heaven, going higher and higher, till the tree could bear my load, but dipped its top and set me down. But when I have enjoyed this high aspirations, noble art means I have enjoyed this going to the top, then I should come. I bent its top, then I would love to bend the top of the tree and set me down, and I would love to come down on earth. That would be good both going and coming back. So in this way, going up and coming back would be a very good thing. One must have higher aspirations in the life and do his duty, but not to be escapist. We should not to be escapist, that no, we should escape from the hardships of life and never turn back. No, we should enjoy both our life, the world of imagination and the world of duty. That would be good both going and coming back. One could do worse than be a swinger of birches. Then his life is, means if he's not if he's only having, if he only wants to escape from the earth or go to the top or enjoy the world of imagination, then his life is worse than a swinger of birches. Means a man should live in two worlds, world of fact and the world of fancy. So dear students, this way we have finished our poem. So we have understood that what does the poet mean through the poem? That the poet makes it clear that as in bird swinging, going up and coming down are both desirable, then man must attain a balance between his work on earth and his spiritual aspirations. So today we have finished our poem. Next meet we will go with our next session of class. Till then, have a nice time. Thank you.